Well, I first want to thank Melissa for her tremendous courage in being so dedicated and working so hard to get this legislation adopted. It's not easy to do that in Tallahassee. And Melissa, it's because of the courage of ordinary citizens that good ideas become law. And that's exactly what you've done. You are not ordinary, though. You're extraordinary. And it proves that you don't have to be a member of the Senate or the House or even governor to get something smart and right done. You just have to care. And obviously nobody cares more than you. So first and foremost, thank you and God bless you for what you've done. Please give it. Would be remiss if I didn't thank Representative Ron Reagan. Not only does he have a great name, he's a great man. Truly is. And I can't thank you enough, Representative, for what you have done, the courage that you have shown, and the tenacity with which you have pursued this issue. And, to have two members of the House with us today is really an honor. Not with us today, though, is Senator Thad Altman, who was the Senate sponsor. And so even in his absence, I want to thank him because it's not easy to get things done in Tallahassee, as we know, together. But they do happen. And I'm so proud to be able to be here to sign this important legislation that will literally help save lives. And I can't tell you how moving it is to, Melissa, meet your beautiful daughter. What a joy and a point of light for all of us. And I want to thank all those in law enforcement. There are a lot here today, troopers and deputies and the sheriff himself, and those people that work so hard to make sure that we stay safe and encourage good legislation and good laws on the books. It's hard to thank them appropriately or enough. We can't. So from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all Floridians, almost 20 million of them, thank all of those in law enforcement for what you do, the risk that you incur, and the challenges that you face on behalf of all the people. We're very, very grateful to each and every one of you. I probably should call on Representative Reagan and then Melissa. We'd love it if you would be willing to make a few comments. But Ron, if you wouldn't mind first saying a few words, would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate that. First of all, I want to thank Melissa for your courage, for sticking by me for the last 5 years that we filed this bill. And we pushed it forward. And what we've had to do over the 5 years is educate fellow legislators, both in the House and the Senate. And we finally accomplished that, Governor. We finally educated, the legislature into that this bill will, number one, save lives. Number two, it's the right thing to do in the state of Florida. And ultimately, I'm saddened for the very cause that created this and for us to have to be here today, and that was Mark Wandall. However, he's always been a shining point of light, as you said, Governor. He's always been an inspiration to me, and with Melissa's help and encouragement, we've got to where we are, and that is today. But I will tell you, there's 3 people in the room that I also especially want to thank, and that's my family. My wife is here, along with my daughter Katie and my daughter Jill. And I will tell you, they've been with me and by my side, Governor, for the whole 5 years that we have proposed this legislation and worked in. They saw the anxiety and the situations that we have gone through over the last 5 years. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being there and being with me on this. So, no further ado. Oh, I've been. And by the way, I'll tell you, Representative Ambler is here today. Kevin Ambler, I will tell you, every year I sponsor this from the very first time 5 years ago. He was the very first person that came to me and said, I want to co-sponsor your bill. And he was there with me. He came to virtually every committee meeting, and he worked very hard. And Kevin, I appreciate your encouragement and support. So anyway, Governor, thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
The most important person here today, Melissa, really the spirit and the energy and the force behind this good thing happening. We'd love to hear from you, Melissa, and Godspeed to you, and thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you so much. And Governor Crist, this is an honor for you to be here today to not only sign this bill, but take this seriously and come here to Bradenton and say, I believe in this so much, and I believe in what you all have done, that you came here today to take time out of your busy schedule to sign this bill. So we are grateful to you for being there with us, for being the people's governor, and standing by our side. That just means so much to us. And to Representative Reagan, he gives me far too much credit. That man has stood by my side for 5 years. He's seen the best of me. He's seen the worst of me. He's seen the most ugliest moments of me. But he stood by my side always, and he took this bill on, Bud and Gwen, like it was a son of his own. He stood by me, and he guided me, and he taught me the process, and he taught me to trust the process. And because of him, and because of a team of great people, we're here today. Thank you to ATS for the knowledge. Everybody thinks at this moment that they have given me more than knowledge, but they gave me knowledge. They gave me a voice. I asked them, help me understand these cameras so that I know that I'm doing the right thing for the citizens of Florida. Help me learn knowledge, help me learn about these cameras so that I know that I'm putting my husband's name on a real good bill. I want to thank the law enforcement officers. You know, unfortunately, I met most of you 7 years ago, come October. But since then, you've invited me into your families. You've invited me into this community. And you've taken it on. You've taken me on with love and grace. You've taken me out in your cars. You've helped me talk to other people about their habits. And I'm grateful for what you do every day because you put your lives on the line day in, day out. And then, of course, Captain Pulis, you helped me up there in Tallahassee. You taught me about it. You were an inspiration to me. You kept me going. You taught me such great strength. There's so many people that I could thank today, all my friends and my family that have been there and stood by our side. I need to say, for Bud and Gwen and Chad, this has always been about making sure that Mark's memory lives on, that we make sure that we make a difference for what happened that night, just a quarter of a mile from our home. To my parents, who were a great guide in my life, the one thing they taught me was to hunker down when times got rough. And they always stood beside me, and because of them, my parents, Maury and Cleon Wolf, because of them, I'm here today. I have so many people to thank, and I'm sorry if I left anybody out, but on my friends and my family, you've given me such grace and such courage to lead the way for a better tomorrow. For Mark, I love you. You loved me my whole life, and I will never, ever love you any less than the day you married me. I love you more than I loved you at that point. And for a little girl who has brought so much grace and love into my life, she was the quiet, calming inspiration, even now. That taught me to persevere. When she was 2.5, she was very vocal, and she sat in the back of the car, and we were stopped at a red light. And she looked at the other corner, and she said, Mommy, 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 look at that man's. And I thought, oh no, what's she going to say now? She said, look at that man's, Mommy. He stopped on red. Wasn't that a good man? So she taught me to look at the positive side of life, to look at how we can educate and how we can encourage, and how we can find a way to make Mark's name stand for love, for grace, but help his name stand for safety for the rest of our lives. I do want to say just a couple more things, that this is not a story that I would have chosen for our lives, but this was chosen for us. The night a careless driver with a bad driving record senselessly ran a red light and killed my husband, Madison Staddy. But this is the life we were given, and we have faced it head on with love, sincerity, and grace. We have chosen to make a reason for what happened, and we chose to dive right in and find a solution instead of becoming a part of a problem. We dived right in to make this experience a positive one, to become educated on ways to improve our highways and ways to reach out to the motoring public, to make them aware of the deadly habits of running red lights. We have been blessed to be embraced by so many on this journey that have offered their assistance in education, enforcement, and support. Please know that this is our life passion, to come together globally to encourage others to drive safely.